The hero's journey in Ready Player One. The ordinary world. The story starts with our main character Wade living in the future in Columbus, Ohio. Most people during this time are living in what are called stacks, which are towers of cars. Ontologically anthropocentric sensory immersive simulation, aka Oasis, is a part of most people's daily lives. It is a huge virtual reality game where people can do things from fighting monsters to going to school. Wade is a huge fan of James Halliday, the creator of Oasis, and enjoys pop culture like him. The call to adventure. The adventure begins when Halliday, who is a billionaire, passes away without any heirs. He leaves behind a video stating that whoever finds the Easter egg he left in Oasis will inherit control of the game and his entire fortune. As Wade states, this hunt for the egg gives him a goal and a purpose, and a reason to get up in the morning. He hopes to use his knowledge of Halliday as well as 80s pop culture to help him win. Refusal of the call. There is no initial refusal of the call, but during the adventure, Wade does stray away from the hunt to goof off and hang out with his online friend, Artemis. This causes him to lose his leading position on the leaderboard. Mentor-helper. Wade's mentor-helper during the hunt is both Anorak's Almanac and Ojin Moro. Anorak's Almanac is a book written by Halliday about his personal life and also pop culture, which aids Wade in completing the tasks during his journey. Ojin Moro is the co-creator of Oasis and Halliday's friend. He helps Wade during the final battle by uniting him with the other players at his own home. Crossing the threshold. Wade crosses the threshold when he puts on his VR headset and goes into Oasis. Also, it is when he figures out the first challenge, which puts him on the leaderboard, the first player to do so in years. This thrusts him into the spotlight, and now his avatar is known by millions. He crosses into this new world of fame. Tests, enemies, and allies. Wade's best friend is a character named H, and they both are huge nerds of pop culture, so they play video games and watch movies together. H takes the third place spot on the leaderboard for the hunt. Artemis is Wade's longtime online crush, who he meets at the first challenge, and he helps her with a hint. She ends up taking the second place spot on the leaderboard. Shoto and Daido are two brother-like friends who join the group with spots at 4th and 5th place. Together they call themselves the High Five. The tests to find the egg are split into 3 gates and 3 keys. They had to figure out the clue on the key to find and unlock the gate to solve the challenge. The enemies are the Sixers, who work for the company IOI, which is trying to get control over Oasis. They go to enormous lengths, like blowing up Wade's house and even, spoiler alert, killing Daido. Approach. Wade passes through each of the gates. Every clue had to do with pop culture or a fact about Halliday's life. The first gate is a simulation of the movie War Games, where he had to recite each piece of the dialogue and do every action perfectly. The second gate was a recreation of the game Black Tiger, where the player had to play as the protagonist. However, the third gate is being barricaded by the Sixers, and they cannot get in. Ordeal. Wade uses a secret identity in order to get hired to be an IOI employee. This gives him access to all their files and passwords, which gives him an opportunity to take down the barricade at the castle. He tells his friend how to pass the second gate so they can work together on the last one. Treasure. By disguising himself as an IOI employee, it gives him information files on his friends, like their true identities, which he can steal for their safety. It also gives him an idea of how much the company knows. He's able to use this information to expose IOI, and this hatred for IOI is what bonds the other players of Oasis together to fight the Sixers. Road back. Ojin Moro, Halliday's friend, invites them all to his house in order to fight the final battle. In Oasis, the team and the other players of the server surround the castle where the final gate is located. During the battle, the Sixers set off the catalyst, which blows up the entire area, killing everyone. However, Wade's avatar is still alive due to a past-perfect game of Pac-Man giving him a coin, which gives him an extra life. Atonement. At the final gate, the challenge is to beat the high score at a game called Tempest. With the aid of his friend, he beats the score. Stage 2 includes a role-play simulation of the movie Monty Python, and once he finishes it, he ends up in a recreation of Halliday's room. Using his knowledge of Halliday, he finds the egg and wins the hunt. Reward. Wade becomes a multi-billionaire, which he shares with his friends, and is granted control of Oasis. His avatar becomes immortal and overpowered. Wade logs out of Oasis to meet up with Artemis, aka Samantha, where they discuss how they want to spend their future together. Then they share a tender moment, and Wade no longer has the desire to log back into Oasis with his newfound companions. This story is from the book Ready Player One by Ernest Cline.